Wednesday Live. I'm Natalie Hankins, life, business, and mindset coach for women entrepreneurs who want to thrive in business and have time to enjoy their lives. Say hi to me if you're joining me live and let me activate the chat. Today, I will be sharing 3 essential strategies for making time for you. As mompreneurs, we often think that we have to do it all, and we forget to make time for ourselves. Is it even possible to do it all? The answer is no. We can't do it all, but we can make time for what's most important to us. So I have 2 adult children with special needs still living at home. So I've really had to figure out how to make time for everything that's most important to me in my life. And what I've learned that the best way to make time for what's most important is through weekly scheduling. So I recommend scheduling activities that you're not going to be doing daily. And this is something that I teach my clients to do through my life zone strategy and then the time prioritization system. So, for example, you'll want to identify the life zones that are most important to you. So, 3 of my most important life zones are my family, business, and health, right? I'm not willing to compromise on any of those 3 life zones. And so, what you'll want to do is first identify the life zones that are most important to you. Then you'll want to create a to do list in each of those life zones. And then you'll want to prioritize that to do list. And then you'll want to schedule each activity. And I know this may seem tedious, but you do want to schedule, you're going to have to schedule the scheduling as well. And, I know that nobody wants to schedule time for scheduling, but I promise you, it will save you so much time because you won't be wondering like what to do next. And you won't be worried that things won't get done. And you'll make time for what's most important to you. So for me, doing my PT exercises is very important. So I have a medical condition, which was adult onset. 5 years ago, I started tripping, and I learned that I have a type of muscular dystrophy through my legs. So sometimes I trip, sometimes I fall, and it's very important that I do my PT exercises 3 times a week. And so I like to schedule my exercises at 8:30 in the evenings, and because I schedule my work for during the day. And the other thing that's important with the scheduling is you also have to have the mindset, right? Because what happens with me is that after dinner I like to relax, watch a little TV, and then 8:30 comes around and I don't want to do my exercises. So my thought is I don't want to. It's kind of like a kid, right? I don't want to. So I have to redirect my mind to, well, I don't want to lose my strength, right? I don't want to lose muscle. And so I have to. And I have found that when I have the thought I have to, then that's when I take action, right? So watch your thoughts, right? Make a note of what you're telling yourself and take your power back through the mindset and the weekly scheduling. You can make time for what's most important to you. So if you don't follow through on your activity, make a note of why. But also, this is not the time to judge yourself, right? Don't give yourself a guilt trip because that will not motivate you to take action. It's important to know that anytime you spend a negative emotion is not motivating because our feelings motivate our actions. So, one of the most important things that I do is to help my clients find a thought that will generate a feeling that will empower them to take action. Because the way that the mindset model works is that our thoughts create our feelings motivate our actions, and our actions give us our results. So I'll give you an example. I coached a mompreneur who also has a young adult on the autism spectrum, and she was finding it difficult to balance her time with what she wanted to do in her business and balance her family time. Her thought was, I have too much on my plate. And this thought was causing her to feel overwhelmed. And when she was overwhelmed, then all she did was spin in the thoughts of everything that she had to do. And her result was she still had too much to do, right? She still had everything on her to-do list. And so she still had too much on her plate, right? This is directly how our thoughts create our results. So I helped her realize that her circumstances weren't actually the problem. It was that thought, I have too much on her plate, that was causing her to create that result. And once she realized this, I was able to guide her to find a more empowering thought that she also believed. And with this new perspective, she was able to refocus on prioritizing her time and living in the moment. I have found that when I make time for the people and the activities that are most important to me, that brings me so much peace. Living in the present moment is the key. And I have a wonderful strategy in which we will focus on your higher purpose for any given situation so that you can truly live in the present moment. And you don't have to feel guilty, right? When you're living your purpose. So, the second essential strategy for creating more time is through atomic habits. I love Atomic Habits by James Clear. I picked up this book because I needed to create more time for everything that I wanted to do. And atomic habits are small actions that require just a little effort but can lead to big changes. So James Clear talks about it's through these little habits done consistently that have created results for him that were unimaginable before he started these atomic habits. And atomic habits have made my life so much easier. Clear tells you exactly how to use the power of atomic habits. And one thing that he talks about is through habit stacking. So with habit stacking, you just stack a new habit on top of habits that you already have. So think about the activities that are essential to you to refuel and recharge and that you want to make time for every day. And I would love to see those activities in the chat. So some essential habits that really fuel me are listening to audiobooks and podcasts that I like to listen to while I get ready for the day in the morning. And, growth is so important. And something that James Clear talks about is if we just improve by 1% per day, then it's something like then our results will be like 37% magnified by the end of the year. So it's an amazing result that these habits can have on our lives. And then I love to do my self-coaching daily. And I love the self-coaching because I have found that I solve my own problems through the self-coaching. And if you become a client of mine, I will teach you how to coach yourself so that the transformation that you will have really doesn't stop after we're done coaching together. You can continue to experience the transformation even after we're done with our coaching package. And I also love to spend time every day in prayer and meditation. And so list out your essentials and think about where you want to fit these activities into your day. So, and where you can like stack them on top of habits that you already have. So, my morning routine is that after I get my kids off to their day program, then I make my shake, then I finish up the dishes, and then I spend some time in prayer and gratitude. And I like to do that before I start my work. So, I strongly recommend a daily gratitude routine because gratitude is proven to boost mood. And when you appreciate what you have, you're focused on the positive. And this is so important because what we focus on intensifies. And this is something that I learned from Tony Robbins. And so, coming from a place of abundance is so important, especially in business, so that we can focus on serving people. Remember that our thoughts create our feelings. So if we're focused on what we don't have, right, then we won't be motivated to take action. So when we focus on our goals from a place of abundance, we will be motivated to create more value for our ideal clients. My third essential strategy is to ask for help and say no to things that don't align with your priorities. I think it's helpful to do a time journal so that you can look at how you are spending your time every day. So, when I did a time journal, I looked at the day before and I wrote out all of my activities that I did the day before. And then I thought about, does each activity align with my priorities or my purpose? So, one thing that does not align with my purpose in life is doing dishes. So, I just grew really tired of spending an hour on cooking and an hour on cleaning. And I wanted to create more time so that I would have time to relax in the evenings or spend more time and focused on creating value for my clients. So, my son loves to do chores around the house, but he doesn't love to do dishes. So he doesn't even like to rinse his plate and put it in the dishwasher. So I thought that he wouldn't do it. But then when I was reading Success Principles, and one of the things Jack Canfield talks about in there is to ask for help so that you can spend your time in your zone of genius. And so I thought, okay, maybe there's a way, right? It's like when we're focused on what we want, our brain starts to look for solutions. So that's when I thought, well, maybe he'll be motivated if I give him $5 per time that he does the dinner dishes. And sure enough, that was motivating for him. And so now I have bought an hour of time every evening with $5. So think about how precious your time is. We can't get it back, right? We all have limited time on this planet. So, and especially if we're an entrepreneur, we want to be focused on our zone of genius so that we're creating value for our ideal clients. Because when we help them get results ahead of time, like even before they hire us, then they will learn to trust us. And then when they trust us, they will hire us. You can find more time for you with these 3 essential strategies. Number 1, schedule your priorities weekly. Number 2, use the power of atomic habits. And number 3, ask for help and say no to things that don't align with your priorities. So I've given you these 3 essential strategies for creating more time, but will you implement them? If your mindset does not change, if you don't have a shift in your mindset, unfortunately, the answer is no. So this is why I think everyone needs a coach. So any athlete who expects to win has a coach because he or she knows that they won't push outside of their comfort zone without one. And we also just need that accountability, right? So, as James Clear says, that with the same habits, you'll end up with the same results. But with better habits, anything is possible. So, I would love to help you finally get the results that you want in your life and business. You can find the time to be consistent with your exercise routine. You can find the time to take consistent action in your business. You can make the time to be with your family and really be present. And when you find the time for what's most important to you, you will experience peace. So, if you need help finding the time for what's most important to you, I would love to offer you a free breakthrough session. We'll talk about your most important goals in life and in business and how you can break through any challenges that you are facing. And I will leave that link in the comments below if you would like to schedule a time to talk. I look forward to helping you find the time and the motivation to create a life that you love.